How close are you guys to the beach in California?
So you know the breakaway,
No.
the breakaway on the beach with the
The
with
breakaway on the
Bronx
beach.
and all that.
Yeah.
That is about 4 miles from the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got to spend a lot of time right there.
Yeah, that's the same beach that we used to go party on when I was in high school. Like after every football game, we went out there, ran around with all the college kids.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Has that been hard adjusting from like living like all your families out there, right?
Yeah,
In California.
Mm-hmm.
Do you miss home when you're out here?
Sure. Yeah, and I've dealt with that, but for what I do, I can't be out there.
Yeah.
It's a 24-hour drive to get out here to go to Odessa. It's a 24-hour drive to come back for Houston. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I miss it, but at the same time, for me and for what I want to do, my dreams are everything's here. And we'll probably stay here.
You think you can live out here?
Yeah, we have property out there. My grandparents gave some to me and my brother before they passed. And I'll probably keep it and maybe have a vacation home and spend time out there and stuff.
Yeah.
But we're building the breeding program now, and we got a lot of stuff going out here.
Yeah.
So I could foresee if kids start being brought up, I could foresee my parents wanting to move out here a little bit.
Gotcha.
I guarantee we keep everything out there. It was grandfathered in from my grandparents, passed down to my parents, and then me and my brother, and we don't pay anything like property taxes wise,
Right.
mostly. So that'll all stay. We'll probably just make rental properties or something. My brother actually seems like he might stay in California.
Okay. Well, that's the thing. Like we've been up to Andes a few times, Holcomb's, and it's like you get there and dude, it's the coolest spot to row.
World.
Temperature's awesome. It's a whole
This
different,
is gonna make
whole different world.
Want to cry right here, unless there's been some rain lately. But I look at this every now and then and think, what the heck am I doing?
Yeah. Highs 65, lows 53. Just perfect roping weather all the time.
In the summers, you might get in the high 80s.
So do you think like deciding that when you're out here and kind of a little bit more on your own, do you think there's moments or pivotal moments that kind of help you solidify like, hey, this is what my dreams really are? And also like, do you think people kind of get hung up on not wanting to take that risk and do things like that? Or how do you feel about that? Like,
the way I've always explained it to people is like, if you're an actor, you go to Hollywood. If you're a aspiring country music singer, you go to Nashville. And then if you're going to rope for a living, you come to Stephenville.
Yeah.
To kind of see if you got it. There's a lot of people, like my brother, prime example, talented, so talented, but has a hard time being away from home and doesn't love the traveling and doesn't like being coached on a lot. So he didn't really prosper very well out here. Got his butt kicked a lot. So now when he's home, he's got a horse that I had for a little while. The horse that I almost ran Nikki over at the Mike White Pasture Open. It wasn't great. He's got that horse, and then he's got a young horse that is coming along really good, and he kicks their butt out there in California.
Yeah.
So he's kind of found his spot. He works for my dad, pushing dirt and moving dirt.
well, I think it's important to understand that, like, to me, that younger age, like stepping out and kind of doing your own deal, right? It seems like there's a lot of like safer routes you can take.
Oh yeah.
And then there's some things that maybe are on your heart to do, or you kind of, you really have some passions, but pursuing them, like for me personally, that was kind of a big moment, kind of basically coming out here. Like I'd stayed in Arizona, but when I got out here, you start really like, you got to answer a lot of questions. Like, hey, do I love this? Is this what I want to pursue? And, you got to, I think just being able to answer that question all the time, it really, it solidifies, hey, this is what I want to do. Or also it takes it like, all right, we can put this one to bed and move on to the next thing. And I think that's it's something I would suggest that everyone tries, at least whatever you're passionate about, pursuing it. And then there's no regrets as you get older, right?
Yeah. I'm the risk taker for sure. from picking up and moving everything out here. It was actually a spur of the moment deal. I got asked to rope from Doyle Hoskins. I was still on my permit, went to Pendleton, did okay at Pendleton, placed in the first round. That was it. And then Doyle was like, what do you think about the wintertime? I'm like, what about it? He said, you want to go to Texas? I'm like, I've never been to Texas, you know? So I kind of got thrown in the fire. And then he was like, well, I got a place to stay. We're going to go to Chad's. I'm like, who's Chad?
Chad who?
Yeah. And we got out there and I'm like, oh, Chad Masters.
Yeah.
Like the guy on TV. He's like, yeah, we're gonna stay here, we'll practice, rope with these guys every day. I'm calling home, like telling my parents, hey, I'm gonna be gone a while. Like, this is pretty cool. This is what I've always wanted to do. And I'm around the best guys in the world all the time. Got to meet Luke and TG and Jake Long were coming over, Jade. I'm like a kid in a candy store, man. Couldn't get enough of it.
So what was that like seeing like you yourself, like where you're at, and then being around these guys living with Chad, right? Because you ended up staying with Chad for quite some time in the winters, right?
2 winters, yeah.
Yeah. So what was that kind of like seeing that for the first time, and what did you kind of learn from watching those guys?
It was like starstruck at first. I was afraid to talk, which is hard to believe, but I just kind of tiptoed around.
Yeah.
And then those guys, they cut up pretty good, and they got me loosened up. And then I had a bad attitude about it. I went down the wrong way of going about it I kind of felt like I had something to prove. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to kind of show them I was good enough. And they don't really take well to that out here. Like when you come in from anywhere and you have an attitude and you don't really take advice, you know, I was asking for help, but I didn't really want help. That's how it came off for sure. And, your help starts to go away. Everyone's like, yeah, it looks good. You know, it looks great. Just keep doing what you're doing. You'll figure it out. That's how you know they're not really helping you anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so my first winter was the learning curve, was figuring out how to just relax. And like, these guys are all human. They all make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. You don't have to, every steer like missing in the practice pin, you don't got to get mad and throw your rope, you know. There's no real reason for it. Those guys they're going to help you until you once you act like you don't need the help, they're like, okay, you're good, you know.
What's it, you see those guys, I think they obsess over it. Like Chad, for example, to me, I mean, Chad and Luke, I think right now, those guys have probably roped the most steers ever as headers, as far as that I know. And so just watching guys that can kind of obsess over it, but grind it out.
Right. Timeless is how I've been putting it.
Yeah.
Like they change. It seems like the game changes and they change with it. It's pretty impressive.
And I think that kind of goes back to it. Like, hey, that mindset when you first get there is, and it's going to be tough for everyone. Cause one, you want to believe that you're good enough. Right. And then you got to compete against them. So you got to have the confidence to believe that you can. But on the other token, you've got to have enough humility to balance that out as far as, like, hey, what do I need to work on? What do I need to get in, like, improving?
I was blessed with confidence.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of confidence in what I do. I take a lot of pride in how I got here. But as far as obsession goes, I didn't ever obsess with it until right before I started roping with Chad.
Okay.
And that was kind of when, like, I had been doing good. Jackson and I won good. Tanner James and I won good.
Yeah.
But not good enough.
Right.
Chad and I had a chance. This last year, I've considered myself so far down the rabbit hole now where I'm like, it's gut check time. You know, middle of the summer, I'm sitting outside the trailer at midnight, just going back through a mistake I made in May, you know, trying to pick apart stuff. I've got a list of rodeos on my phone of mess ups. And then I go back and I've dissected those videos, trying to just figure out where I stubbed my toe. Like, that's the kind of rabbit hole that I think has helped my roping and pushed me further, where I never let myself before that get obsessed with it.
Right.
I kind of chalked it up to, you know, everybody makes mistakes, on to the next one type deal. Try to forget it. And it helped a little bit, but that's when 55,000 was making the NFR. Yeah. You know, 60,000 was going to make the finals. And then all of a sudden, bam, Lane Mitchell wins 88,000 or something and is one out. Holy cow, you know, it'll never get higher than that. And then boom, 105,000. You know, it's changing, and rodeos are worth more now, and you can't afford to stub your toe.
Right.
The mistakes have to be a minimum.
So, I mean, obviously there's this shift you're going through, and results of you know, you're starting to see that yourself, you know, better and better seasons. But what I'm curious is these mistakes, because I did something similar, and just, I think for me, like personally, I like to probably be on the overconfident side of things, is how I've tended to be my entire life. Like,
sure.
And that it does hurt a lot, but it also helps you really believe in what you're doing too.
For sure.
So I tried to manage that.
Yeah.
But on my side of it is like, when I make mistakes, I would have lots of mental breakdowns after I would make mistake after mistake. You seem a little more like well put together mentally. How do you try to, like, do you ever get low? Like, because I've never seen you down. I've never seen it. Like, I know you kind of got it. Obviously you feel bad, but how do you try to manage that? Because that's the one thing about you that I would say for sure is like mentally, like when I'm around you, you're always happy. You know, always good to be around. And there's times where I don't want to be around me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I just, there's nothing I can do. I just, like, I will tell my wife, like, I need some time. Like, I cannot process this right now. I just need, I need to be alone hating myself for a little while, and I'll be fine after a little bit. Yeah. But you don't strike me as a person that really like goes real high or real low like I will, or I don't know. What's that been like?
Everybody has their peaks and valleys. Yeah. I try to keep mine in the middle. Just, it's kind of one of those deals where you got to take it seriously, but don't take yourself too seriously. Yeah. Like, there's people that came before you that went higher and lower. You know, you just kind of, you got to find a balance, and I try to keep it super real with myself. Like, as a healer, it's very stereotypical for, you know, well, my head or my handle, this, you know, it wasn't my fault. I try to be realistic with myself. Was it my fault? Was my look good? You know, anything. I break it down and make it the nuts and bolts of it.
Be realistic, though,
before I take a shot at myself. Yeah. And then if it is all on me, first run to Ellensburg, oh, dude, pretty mad. Not like full freak out. I'm not going to go tear the trailer up or nothing, but I was sold up. Yeah. For a couple days. I mean, just, I felt like, and I say harsh things to myself, not like really beating myself up, but in my head, and I said it out loud, and I actually got in pretty good trouble in the truck for saying this, but I was like, missing steers like that's the reason I haven't made the finals. Yeah. There's a lot of clutch steers you got to catch in the year. And that was one of them. That was a very pivotal, if you catch that steer and you move on, it maybe doesn't just throw you way up in the standings or anything, but it keeps you alive. Yeah. And then you miss that steer, and it's like, you can't let that snowball. You know what I mean? Like, it was, I had to break that down, and it took me a minute to process that. Yeah. There's a couple other ones, but that's the one that I use, because that's a very big time of the year. Yeah. Huge 2 or 3 header. I mean, well, and it's, you're running out of chances. You're close. Like, it's just built up. Like if it's early in the winter and you mess one up, you're going to be upset, but you don't really know what the repercussions of it are until now here you can kind of see the end of the road. So how are you going to make that into a positive? You know, what's your outlook on missing a steer that you shouldn't have missed? Yeah. Like, what goes into the game plan going into 2026 on how to eliminate those mistakes? There's no going back at the time, you know, and that's where I made that list. I've kind of have notes, sort of. They won't make sense to anybody but me. You know, I could show you the list and you're going to be encoded. Like, wow, this guy.
Encrypted notes.
Yeah. So I have a plan. I've kind of noticed that my weaknesses are the longer setups, the just catch situations. I got a leg on the first one at Dodge City. Me and Lightning are pretty aggressive. We go fast a lot. We had made a plan because we needed tour points. We'd made a plan. Hey, we got 7 tour rodeos left before the end of Caldwell. Let's try to make them count. Let's catch. All we need is 100 points. Sounds great on paper. First steer, Dodge City. rode my new horse. These big, stout jackpot horse can really run. Lightning went all the way in there, rope, kind of downstreamed. I got to the inside, jacked it down there, roped the leg. Another big pivotal deal. And that one I kind of allowed to snowball. We, you could fast forward Moses Lake, get a leg to win second. Lightning, 3 swings all the way in there. Boom, for something, just in a rush.
Yeah.
Kind of scrambling mentally.
So right quick, let's jump into that, like the mental side of it, because I think healing, from my perspective, is there's a couple of things. If you set it up right, you're going to get them every single one almost. Yeah. I feel like right. If we ask you like, hey, if you're in a really good spot, you're probably going to catch them all, right? And you'd say, yes, I probably believe I could.
For sure.
So it kind of comes down to now positioning, right? And setting up shots. Mm-hmm. And that requires discipline mentally, but also the overthinking things or overriding or underriding. Like how does one try to manage that mentally? And then also like going into it this next year, how's that going to affect practice? And,
once again, I made a plan. I made a plan from that drive from San Bernardino back to the house. It started with the phone calls and the difference of the phone calls. Lightning and I are elbow and elbow, and his phone calls are all good job, congratulations, and mine are a lot like, man, close, so close again.
Stay with it.
Stay hooked.
Yeah, stay with it.
I mean, I got guys from all the way up to the very top are calling me like, don't lose the momentum that you got going. Like, you're on the right track. So I built a plan, and my weaknesses, I'm going to try to build on those. Discipline is one of my biggest faults right now.
Okay.
I don't have that discipline. I need to know when to press. I need to know when to kind of turn that off too, in those just catch situations. I don't like to think a lot during the run, but I like to make a plan. Like, what I need to be telling myself in the box is set it up. Just set it up. Everybody saw the video of Bremerton of us doing the flyby, and it a lot of that was Lightning can throw from the box.
Yeah, like you might see your header out of the corner of your eye when he's nodding, but outside of that, you don't see him again.
I caught a lot of shade over that. and it's warranted, because we shouldn't be doing that. But in that situation, in the moment, there's nothing I could do about it. It was all kind of reaction from there. But it wasn't the first time either that he's kind of caught me riding.
Yeah.
I would like for us to have a plan, like Chad and I talked about every run. Lightning and I did for a little while. And then after it wasn't going well with the just catching for points, we're like, hey, we're an aggressive team. Let's just press.
Yeah.
That's our best thing. And then we just bam, bam, bam. We went from out of it to in it, to out of it to in it.
Yeah.
We'd have a bad week and come back and win. We won $23,000 the week of Spanish Fork, and I think 1,700 or 1,400 of it was in an average. The rest of it was go rounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when they talk about like playing well, like professional sports or just in general sporting wise, I have heard the term like playing free, like playing fast, like not thinking. And then like how that translates from not thinking, like being able to just react and be in it. But that's kind of the hard line. Healing is you got to be able to have discipline of where you're riding to set shots up, but also a thinking mind's a slow mind, right? Like I've probably repeated that 100 times on this podcast, but it's something I just really believe in.
I believe it too.
So that's kind of got to be the line that reflects. And do you think that's just gonna have to start coming through like practice wise? Like how do you try to add those things to your game? Because I think it's like such a crazy level where you're at, right?
Yeah. Like,
how does a guy just keep taking it to the next step without completely breaking it down, but also, knowing like, hey, this is what I do good, keeping the confidence up, but also, want to go to the.
I have a lot of confidence in my just the roping side.
Like, you believe you're going to get them.
I have not a doubt in my mind that if I am in any kind of a good spot, that I can catch
which is
most of them.
Beautiful thing. Like that is a great thing to have. A lot of people don't have that. And I don't think that's something you'd ever want to take away, right?
No, for sure.
Yeah.
If you don't have the confidence in that, then that's going to cause you to hesitate.
Well, and on top of it, it's going to allow you to win.
Yeah.
I think, you get into big steers, you've been in big moments and have performed, and
the last one at Salt Lake City, huge steer for 20,000 for first, 15,000 for second, maybe. I might have that completely wrong, but I think so.
Yeah.
We're second to last out. We have a strong steer. Push me off to the right. I'm good at those where you just got to turn it off and be aggressive. I bet on myself no matter what.
Yeah.
It's the got to set it up halfway down the arena, go catch them. That is where I lack discipline. And so like going into my practices, my roping, I'm not going to change my roping much. I'm going to try to keep my position better all the way down the arena. Try to fight for position the whole way instead of just I got caught hanging back at Canby.
Yeah.
Got caught hanging back. My partner did a great job. Stick and move. I was just half a jump behind. Had to rush a shot and missed. It just, those types of situations where the discipline of riding a good corner. So I'm going to take, I have some stronger steers that I'm going to fight for position down the arena, and then I'm not going to throw fast a whole lot this year practicing. I'm not going to say I have that down, but I'm very confident in that. And obviously, I feel very confident no matter where I'm at as far as position-wise in the go fast one-headers. I'm going to bet on myself every time. But where I need to be disciplined is short round situation, any kind of big-time first-round situation. It's going to feel a lot like I'm practicing for the BFI, I think. And I'm going to do my best to be disciplined on that and taking my practices and every steer real serious in the sense of every steer's a big steer.
Yeah.
I'm sick of being almost good enough, and I think those steers are the difference. One of my biggest downfalls, my biggest weaknesses is Cheyenne. I haven't mastered the beast at Cheyenne yet.
Right.
And it's not something that I worry about. Going into it the weeks before, it's like, no, I know Cheyenne's coming up. But when I back in the box, my ears are pinned. Like it's pretty much game on. But I need to have that control. I need to have that. I need to set it up. I did good in the first round, a lot of control, just caught the steer. That's all we needed to do. Second round, pretty much the same situation. Rode my new horse and got behind at the start and didn't get to my spot. And then my mental clock's just running double time. So as soon as I get there, I try to push a throw and get inside leg, high on the right, which is kind of my miss. And comes from bad positioning, first of all, and then trying to make it up with my rope. I've got too much confidence in my roping and less discipline in setting it up. So if I can make myself set it up, I think I'll be okay.
And I think that's where a lot of, for me, feel comes from in the run is getting to good spots, especially heading, because then it feels like everything just slows down for you.
Oh, man.
And if you're in bad spots, it's like everything's going so fast, and I'm kind of, I'm really reactive, and I just feel like I'm just trying to catch up to the situation.
I can attest that to Northside for me. I was like Northside diehard.
Yeah.
I've made 2 good bay horses pretty much going to Northside. That's where I feel like I'm so confident the one-headers. Because going to Northside, you don't never know what you're going to rope. Steer might stop and cut behind the head horse, and you got to get him for your 800. For me, that was making all my payments. That was feeding me when I was out here, because I didn't have the outside horses. I didn't have a lot of connections. So it was like I can go to the opens and get my butt kicked all week long by Chad and TG at the time, and they were unstoppable.
Right.
And it was like, what do I do? Go to Northside, go to slides, go kind of fight it out and be aggressive. That kind of shaped me into what I am now, where I wish I would have stuck it out at the Tuesday afternooners at Austin's and just go catch, just figure out how to just go get a time and be clean and stay in the roping. Remember the ropings at Travis Trines?
Yes.
They were like walking fresh, 2 ropings back to back.
5 headers. Yeah,
6
back to back, 5
once.
Yeah.
That was what I wish I would have kind of stayed with. And I think that would have made me a lot better in the situations I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's tough because I remember going to those, and that was Clay Tryon and Jade, and pretty much on Clay's when he had all the head horses stacked up, and you're like, I'm not even close to competing with this team.
Yeah.
Like I noticed that was so hard to make up ground on practicing, because you'd like, I'd want to work on a ton at once.
Yeah.
And I just would always bite off more than I could chew practicing. And led to more of those mental breakdowns, like, hey, how do I even get to this stage? It's like what they're doing is, and I think that's the thing, is managing your beliefs.
Sure.
And also being able to put a game plan behind it too, right? Where it's like, hey, yeah, I'm not going to hit as good as Clay Tryon, but the only chance I have is to like break it down step by step, day by day, like every single thing, like what can I do to get some ground on this guy? And, and I think that's like a process you can work, right? But the other way, it's really tough because, in the practice, you kind of got to get some little wins in there too,
for sure.
Even like struggling at times, but you got to be able to see some results to kind of help you stay rolling. But
I think too, you can't let it hang in the balance of a couple runs. You've take however many runs you've made, call it for money or call it just in general, and then kind of average them out on whether you caught or missed. Like, you're going to be probably on the better side of things at the level you're at. You're high called to BFI not for no reason.
Right.
It's not like you got lucky and got there. So I take a lot of pride in, and this is where I get my confidence from, in what I've done and all the work that I've put in to get there. I've put up some good results. It's probably better than average.
BFI champ.
Yeah. I mean that's...
Yeah, even this year is a great year. Like when you look at it, right?
Dang, it's hard to think about now. I've had enough time to where processed it a little bit better. And yeah, you're right. It has been a good year. But like I said, when we were walking in here, when you're in that last week and it's do or die, and you've won the first two of the rodeos, or you're winning the first two of the rodeos of the 4 that week, you've got momentum, and it's like, it's down to the wire.
Got a chance.
Got a huge chance. And you wish you had a month left.
Yeah.
It's been nonstop for the whole summer of just beating yourself up, and it's a grind, and it's mental warfare. And then you get to that last week and you're just like, give me another month. I'll keep battling it out, but you don't get it. You have 2 steers. And then I miss at Poway to win the rodeo. And it was like, crushing, right? Still have a chance at San Bernardino, but it's that last steer. It's the hardest steer in the world to catch. But you're back in the corner, and I'm like, I feel like I'm better than average. I'm going to bet on me every time. We win the rodeo and other things go right our way, then we're in, So you can't. I did my best to not let anything get in the way that last night. If I got that steer turn for first, I was pedal to the metal. I was going to try to win first that night, no matter what.
Well, and I think that's the most important thing to have. Competing is you got to be able to live and die with the shots you're taking. And knowing that going in, like, hey, what do I want to do? What can I live with?
Yep.
Like, whatever the results may be. Yep. It's the ones that kind of make you sick, that like, hey, I did something that was uncharacteristic, or something that I don't practice, or I made a mental mistake that I don't want to have happen. Right. Those are the ones that like really hurt. I feel like, because everyone's kind of got their comfort zone, right? And if you can build on your comfort zone and make it bigger and bigger, I think that's how you get to this high level.
Right.
But if you can find that area and that's how you're like playing to your style, I think that's just trust, and that's what you can build on. And kind of, you got to treat it like you're an individual as well. It's hard to probably be someone else, like heal exact same like someone else.
It's impossible.
Right?
I've always said that. Like doing my schools and stuff, I talk about, like, if me and you are working on it, we're roping the dummy. You're not going to rope like me, and I'm not going to rope like you. We're going to be, our swings are different. Everything, I know this going into golf too. You have to develop your swing. It's the same thing in roping. I compare it pretty closely.
Yeah.
You develop your swing, and then you develop your angles, and then you kind of build a plan of attack where maybe this loop works better, or this angle with your delivery works better on certain steers. You can break it down as much as you want, but you got to run enough steers, and you got to find your whatever works for you. Because I can give you the basics. If I'm building you from the ground up, I can tell you where you should swing, where your tip should be relatively, but you're going to change it. You're going to tweak it and make it your own. That way you can catch more steers. If you're trying to rope exactly like me, you're going to beat your head against the wall, because I did for a long time. It doesn't really work that way. You kind of got to find your own. You can find a style you like. Like, I love watching Jade, but Jade and I's styles are very different. I try to take a lot out of what he does, and that's where the discipline from this winter is going to go in. I'm going to break down a lot of what he's doing and how he sets the runs up, and that everyone wonders why he doesn't ever look like he's panicking or taking a funky shot. It's because he's not. He's set it up. He's run 10 million steers if he's run 100,
Yeah.
And he knows that he's going to catch. He's going to set it up, and it's going to look like he's sitting on the couch roping a steer. And that's what I want. Because if I can get to that position, then I can catch most of them.
Right. Yeah, and I think this is going to be the constant process, right? Of just trying to improve. I think no matter what the results from the summer or any.
That's the obsession.
Yeah, that's
it's constantly evolving. It's how you got guys like I keep referencing Luke and Chad. It's those guys. I like some of their old stories about how they would rope the dummy and take turns roping the dummy when they were living together. And it was one style at the time, and I'm sure they rope the dummy completely different now than they did back then. And they were making it every year at the time. And then they kept making it because they kept changing and evolving with how the game was going. If you got to speed it up, they work on reaching. If you need to catch more, Red Bluff style steers, you're going to blow in there and cut the horns off. They work on every step of that. So that's the obsession part of it.
Yeah, and I think Luke's perfect example. It's like, hey, coming into those last couple weeks, gotta do good to make it, and you're like, it's gonna be really hard to bet against this guy. You know what I mean? And
I've said it for years.
Yeah. So that's like just something that one experience, and being able to learn from the experiences that he's got, but also there's just so much work ethic that's just like, odds are he's gonna execute and be able to handle these different things, and that's just going to translate to winning. And that's probably the hardest thing about rodeo is you've got so many different setups, situations, horses you're going to ride, all of these variables, and you're just trying to control what you can, and being able to do that, like
it's a game of runs. No, I'm not talking like the runs themselves. I'm talking about putting together back to back to back to back runs, almost like a jackpot, but. You've got 5 rodeos this week. Odds are you catch them all, you've had a damn good week.
Right.
So if you can put those runs together where you go through a few weeks and minimize your mistakes, it seems like it compounds. The money just rolls in, and the standings, they climb themselves. But it's, you stub your toe, you start the snowball. Those guys don't do that.
Yeah.
They might miss one, and it's like, shake it off, go to the next one. They're clutch. Yeah. You get to the fourth quarter, hardest steers of the year, huge setups, long barriers, got to run them down. Then you get to Puyallup, and it's short. They just crank them out. You can never bet against them.
And even lows too. Like I know Luke missed the high teamer at Caldwell, and I think a lot of guys go the other way at that steer. And doesn't phase him. I mean, I think that
it happens.
Yeah, exactly.
And it ain't going to be the last time.
Next steer, you got to run him no matter what happens on the last one. So I didn't experience it much, but a few times rodeoing, we were just like, man, I'm beating him pretty good. And like a good, not just like made a good run at a rodeo or did good at one rodeo, like had a good week or 2 weeks. And as you've kind of progressed and had some better results like this year, what is that feeling like knowing like, hey, I can taste it like, this is what it's, you know what I mean? This is it. Like, you know, like, what really winning.
That's the addicting side of it.
A good team, right?
That's the part that's why you do it.
Keeps you driving. It makes them all night drives fast. Huh?
You could have an 18-hour drive and be like, I'm in. You guys just get in the trailer, go to sleep. I got it. You know?
Yeah.
And those usually, like for me, and I'm not trying to be negative, but this is where I try to keep my highs back in the middle, because the realistic side of it is, we had 2 great weeks in a row. That next one doesn't care.
Yeah.
That next setup, that judge drawing your chip doesn't care. So you just kind of got to keep building a plan and executing. So the highs are high, and it's awesome because everyone's been winning in the rig. You know, you're never a better friend when everything's going good. You know, you got your partner you've been elbow to elbow with for 40,000 miles and have 2 good weeks in a row. You guys are high-fiving. Let's go play golf. Let's, steaks on me tonight.
Sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, it's all great. But you have a not so good week, and it's like, how do we turn this around? Or maybe it's one steer. Maybe it's you've had 2 good weeks. This happened to us because we got a pretty loose style. Have 2 good weeks, and then we might not catch a steer next week. Maybe the first couple we didn't draw good. Now we're trying new things or trying too hard, and then we do draw good and mess up the loper. It happens. Yeah. It happened to us. And it's like, how do you turn that around? And it's like, hey, last week, this is what we were doing. This is what we were doing. It was working. Forget about, this is the realistic side where I like to go. The first 2 that we started changing stuff after, those steers were super strong, head trick, pulled a leg, went left, whatever. You can pick them apart however you want. But try to throw those out on your, and don't apply them to your confidence. Yeah, the loper, we got to catch that one. That one, we can take a shot at ourselves for that one.
Yeah.
But I try not to let those other 2 weigh anything. You know what I mean? There's some of those steers that you're not going to catch. Our steer at Logan, Utah, trotted and circled. Fast rodeo. You gotta be going at him anyway. And in the necro, which lightning drilled the barrier. That's the part that really, it's hard to get out on those.
Yeah.
But then the steer's chasing the flagger into the corner, and we're chasing him too, and it's just a mess. Those are the ones where you're like, you literally have to leave there and think, we couldn't win on that steer.
Yeah.
And just chalk it up to that. Like, yeah, I heeled him and slipped a leg. We're not going to be very fast, but maybe we'd have got points. You know, that's the side that you want to tear yourself down. Like, we got to catch that steer. And the reality of it is that steer's dang near impossible. Definitely impossible to win on. You ain't going to win nothing on that cow.
Right. So I know I asked you the question of like kind of going up and down mentally, and you seem to stay great with it. But if you're going to like talk to younger people about it, or someone that's starting to experience the rodeo side, or even like advice to your younger self, like what would that be as far as like just managing the ups and downs?
Yeah.
And then the next phase of it would be like how to manage, like what would be advice you'd kind of give to yourself on like, you talked about overconfident, but also just like the self-development side as you're getting, once you've made that initial step of like, hey, I'm coming to Texas, I'm going to start, like it's getting pretty serious.
I like to start with the videos. Everybody's got their phones or has somebody videoing every run, right?
X Factor Open's got sometimes free run delivery. Sometimes free.
Perfect example.
Sometimes we charge for it. But
right, hey, but it's worth it. You got to break it down.
Absolutely.
But where I feel like everybody does a pretty good job breaking it down now because we have access to our runs, right?
Yeah. Taking
more good than you do bad out of that run. And this is at a run-to-run level. Let's just say I'll take 2 to 1. I'll take 3 to 1 sometimes. Like I did this good. I set it up.
Do you look for that first when you look at the runs?
The goods?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely.
I always look at what's wrong first.
It's easy to do. And when you're trying to correct too many things and trying to make too big of moves, I feel like it's easy to get lost in that. So that's where, and I've done it, but I broke down film a lot when I was playing football in high school. And they kind of taught me how to, not necessarily, they weren't like, this is how you gain confidence, this is how you lose confidence, right? but they're building on what's good. Like, I love your step here. Great hands.
This is setting you up to do this.
Yes.
This is where the weakness came in. We need to fix this.
Yep.
It kind of gives you a little more process how to fix it. Right?
And it lets you kind of go and see how those doors open as the run progresses.
Yeah.
Like, if you do this, do you see how it sets you up for this? Or do you see how getting here allows you to see it better? Or scoring better lets you get further down the arena? Stuff like that. And then say you messed up roping, like, take your one bad. Pick your worst one. Whatever you did, the worst. And a lot of times those big mistakes earlier in the run, that's why I focus so much on earlier in the run, is the mistake early is what snowballs.
Yeah.
And then it causes, oh my God, I messed up 5 times in that run. Yeah, but if you get a better go from the back of the box, then you set it up better, then you don't take that shot.
Well, I think a lot of times people don't even recollect that. Like, hey, I dropped my hand and my horse kind of whatever.
Sure.
Didn't really fire. And I feel like all my body is forward and I'm riding harder.
Yep.
My swing comes up tighter and everything feels off, as opposed to, hey, just a nice smooth fire off your hand. You feel like everything's like, get you into that, like that type of mode.
That's where that confidence comes from, is when you get a go. When you get a good go, you drill the barrier, everything's set up, how much confidence do you have? It's through the roof, right?
Yeah.
So focus on getting a go. How do you get a go? How do you score better? How do you hit the barrier? Because that's what's going to let you have that, safety's off in your head. There's no hesitation.
So how do you decide how much change you can make in the season and then when you get home? Because I did this personally. I thought it worked pretty good for me, but I had runs that I wanted to make, and that was kind of where I tried to stay. Like, hey, this is what I'm wanting to do. And then I had misses. I'd take notes on the misses that I had, and I'm like, I really don't feel bad about that miss, because that was like, I felt like I threw my rope in a spot to win something. Yeah. But it's just like, I don't reach that well from this distance. This is something I'm gonna go home and work on. But if you try to add that in, it seems like it left it would add for some really bad summers for me. For sure. So like healing for you, what does that kind of look like? Hey, the making adjustments, like watching game film and making adjustments, similar to in competitive sports, but not overcooking it when you make the adjustments.
Early on in my career, I had those summers where I just tried everything. You feel like you tried everything. I've never really went home, like just gave up on the summer. That was one thing Chad never let me do. Okay. I'd call him like, hey, I'm broke. And he's like, don't care. You got to stay out there. Sell a horse, sell a saddle. I don't want to hear it. I don't feel bad for you. So that was part of it, is like the never giving up side of it. Like going home wasn't an option, kind of a burn the boats type mentality. Yeah. That's the same thing with moving out here.
Well, and doesn't it make you, there's a couple things to that burn the boats mentality. Is one, you get the experience of going to all the rodeos. Yeah. You have to compete while you're probably feeling the worst you've ever felt. Yeah.
All the time. Than low.
Yep. And then when you get home, you've got to be like, is this something I want to continue to do with my life?
Right. That's definitely part of it. And I've had those summers where you want to just change everything.
Yeah. And be a banker.
Yeah. My mom is a financial specialist. That's the craziest part about all this. She worked at the same desk at the same bank.
I'm ready.
Since she was 16. And so she sees the zeros and ones. And she's like, by the way, every time we're on the phone, by the way, you're crazy. Like, this is insane. This doesn't make zero sense.
Yeah. Let's start talking about managing my investments.
Yeah, that's a whole different podcast episode, because that's the rabbit hole, right? That's like the thing you see, but you really just don't want to do it. It's like doing the laundry on the floor. Like, you just, we'll get to that later. But
so someone will do it.
Yeah.
Someone will do it.
So I'm a hunter, right? And going back to knowing what to change and how big your changes are. I like to hunt. I like to shoot. Okay. Zeroing rifles. When you're got your scope on your rifle and you're off just a little bit, and that's what I would consider me this year. I'm off just a little bit. We're missing something. You don't just start turning dials. You don't just start spinning the dials, right? It's one click or two clicks, and then you group.
Quarter of an inch.
You just walk it in. Yeah. So that when I'm close, that's what I kind of apply that to, is I'm just going to make little changes and see, because I feel like I'm I'm close, right? Those summers where you got to change a lot, it's like we might scrap the rifle, we might
new ropes,
change,
new horses,
whatever it takes.
New swing.
That's the crazy part about, I feel like the elite, the top, maybe even 100 in the world. They'll change anything. They'll do anything to win more. They'll do anything to get better. I think that's the difference. You know what I mean? That's the difference in the guys that are staying hooked. And that's the difference in the warriors that come from nowhere. All of a sudden they're placing. Yeah, they went out, they might have took out a loan and bought a horse or bought steers or whatever. However they needed to get better, they've made the right adjustment and they started to do better. So then you have something to build on.
Yeah. I've heard this with like Navy SEAL training, and they've talked about it. That hell week where you can quit at any time. Mm-hmm. There's been people that will get up and they're going to go ring the bell to quit, mm-hmm. and they get back in the water or whatever it is. They say almost always those people will quit within the next few hours, whatever. And I think that's the thing, is like quitting when it enters your mind, or this mind frame of like whatever it is becomes so powerful. I think it can overwhelm you. And I think that's where it's like, hey, getting back to this little adjustments, mm-hmm. controlling what I control, making sure you're answering the right questions. Like, hey, do I love to do this? Is this what I'm obsessed over? Yes. You know what I mean? And being true to yourself. Right. And I think that's dude, it's a cool thing to find. Like I don't like, if I were you, I would make sure like when you heal that one and you guys are 3-8 over there mm-hmm. at the middle of nowhere in Utah, one of the last years of the summer, like knowing like, hey man, this is pretty special. Like very few people actually get this opportunity to do it. This is a huge moment. And, to be really grateful for things like that. I think I would definitely, that would be something I would just say, hey man, don't take those for granted, because that's pretty cool.
That's going to be something I'm trying to build on too. That's part of the small adjustments and setting it up. So what I realized on that drive home was that if Lightning and I make our run, you don't got to worry about being fast enough. Yeah. That's what I've figured out. We've went 3 a lot, and 3 is like the magic number, right? Everybody wants to be 3 when you get to the rodeos. And it's like, for me, something I've wanted to do since I was a little kid. Going 3 with Chad at San Antonio, 3-6 in the semifinals. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Like, I'm wanting to take 2 or 3 laps. I just
keep circling.
Yeah, it's just it's
until they
so
shut the
fun.
lights off.
But that wasn't really a realistic run for Chad and I. We didn't make that run a lot. We didn't even try that run a lot. We did a lot of catching, right? Yeah. Lightning and I, we make that run where we can blast, we can go fast. But for me, I don't feel like I had a very good plan. My plan was just attack. Where if I can slow that down and set it up a little better, I catch a few more of those, and maybe we're 4-1 instead of 3-8. But 4-1's going to win everywhere, just about. Yeah. So that's that kind of that discipline.
Finding a spot where you can still win.
Yep, and it's hard to be comfortable when you got Lightning's got it cocked, and he's going to sneak a knot off, and you don't feel like you have enough time to be ready. Like you're like, please hold on, timeout, blow the whistle. I got to reset. There's none of that. It's just be ready, and when the gates bang, all of a sudden fade to black. Where I want to get better about being able to set it up and being comfortable there.
Well, think about this. You've healed thousands, if not tens of thousands of steers mm-hmm. in your whole life. How many times have you been able to see the header in your peripheral vision as you're running down the arena, getting ready to throw your rope? And then
almost every time.
Yeah, I would say, and if you don't see them, it's usually you guys are getting outrun, mm-hmm. you're at a rodeo, and things are not going good. And now, by design, you've got a header that can just bring straight heat, and he is great at that shot. Like we just haven't seen many people like that. So it's like, hey, building feel for that aspect. Like it's probably the ultimate test on mental discipline because you gotta trust so much.
It happens fast.
Yeah, like your eyes are not probably been trained to do something like this.
There's not much thinking. Yeah. When Chad and I were open, like short ran at Red Bluff, there was some thinking going on, like in the run. And I don't like to cloud it up really.
Yeah.
Try to keep open mind, but have a plan in the box, and then just know that you're ready, and whatever happens, happens, right? There was some thinking going on when him and I were open. Even jackpotting, it was like, set it up, stay here. And he allowed that, where he was going to be pretty reserved. He's going to drill the barrier, blow to him, set me up to throw fast.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of pressure there. Like, my job is to throw fast. So if I tracked, it was like the whole plan's just tossed out the window, right? Lightning doesn't really offer that. Lightning, pretty much when everybody at the back of the box yells, yeah, you might start thinking about it's turning in, because it's going to happen right now. Yeah. And if we go halfway, it's because something either bad happened or Lightning may change the plan or something, didn't like what he saw.
Right.
So that's the part where I've got to get better at, as the discipline side of that. I want to be comfortable there.
Yeah, because, I mean, the goal is to win as a team and to be able to put your header in a comfortable situation for, like, that's like Lightning wants to rope this way and this is going to be his style, and letting him be in the best spot and putting him in the best spot for him. But also, same thing when you go to Chad, who's completely different style, but it's like, hey, these guys are going to win, and they're proven to do that. So it's like, hey, how do we be the best team we can?
And we did pretty good practicing last year together. This year, I'm expecting more of that. And then we have kind of that plan where we made a lot of fast runs practicing last year. He's got a bunch of practice horses. Yeah. He goes at them. It's pretty real. Like, that's where I feel like I can get comfortable going fast. But at the same time, I would like to shift gears and then practice more first round of the BFI. Short round of the BFI, just got to be 9. Some stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would like to get a little bit more clutch where we have that ability, where maybe we're sitting there at Puyallup and the situation arises that always does. You're last out and 11's winning last hole. How do you send the smoke signal, or what's the play call? You want to just have that kind of telepathy where he's like, hey, I'm just gonna drill the barrier, go turn the cow. You do what you're gonna do, and then I'm gonna try to set it up and just knock the steer down. We got to have that. We didn't have that. We didn't really have that. The playmaking style where we audible. I'd rather have a little bit of that, to where it wasn't just so push the pedal. We did a bad job of changing that 1 week. We tried something that we didn't usually do, and it didn't go very good for us. It kind of put us out of our comfort zone. So we changed too much, and then we made the adjustment right after that.
Right.
Literally the week after Caldwell, it was like, hey, that didn't work. That was a terrible plan. And we laughed about it all the way to the next one. We were like, why would we do that?
Let's not do that again.
Yeah, well, we know now. So
and I think that's the key, is being able to, make the adjustments as a team.
Yeah.
I'm thinking safe word from semi, bro. Spumoni.
Yeah.
Spumoni.
Yeah. Oklahoma, something. But I do feel like now that it's the off season, that's the things that we have to address.
Add to the game.
That's the difference. Yeah. Those are the steers that we didn't do good on, and those are the steers that can change it to, move you way up in the standings, to where when you do get into the last 2 weeks of September, you might have it made, or you're going to Sioux Falls and you've got 120,000 won and you're 10th, and you still got Sioux Falls made.
Right.
And you can go up there and try to solidify it. Or maybe you have it made by then. There's a lot of people nowadays that can win so much money before you even get there that they're comfortable. I would like to be one of those guys, and I feel like those are the types of steers that kept us from that.
So what's the feeling like at the end of this year, being so close, going into last week? Emotionally, how does that go? Like, how does the guy process it? And honestly, this has not been that long after it, so I am asking the question, as it's pretty raw, but
in one word, it's crushing.
Crushing.
You would think that it would be like, we're almost there, but it's something I've been working at since 2015.
Yeah. And
now we're so close. It's like, what do we got to do to get over the hump? Got more horses. We're rocking and rolling. I don't really let the doubt get in there. I know I'm close, but it's like, man, all year long, you got to wait a whole nother year. You got to keep grinding, whatever. It's not the work that I worry about. I don't worry about putting the work in. I'm going to practice. I'm going to rope all day anyway. So I don't really get too worried about that. But it's one of them deals where so far the feeling has been just almost like we're almost good enough. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
the confidence is still there, and I'm ready. I wish they would load the first one at Fort Worth tomorrow. I feel like I'm ready. I would be still aggressive. Like, I don't doubt it. But the waiting for that is what's killing me. I'm like, come on. You know, I got to sit here and think about that. So that's where I'm kind of shifting. I just got home a couple days ago, and we got through every horse on the property yesterday. Like, we're already starting to grind. We're putting it behind us and just got a plan, move forward.
Yeah. Well, I think just learn from it. Because the other thing too is if you make it, I mean, outside of, yes, there's different preparations for the finals, but you're still basically in the same situation, new season. And it seems like you still are going to have those mistakes and things over the summer that you feel like, hey, I want to address this.
Right.
And I think that's kind of the process with it a little bit. But
having the plan and then doing what we did, taking a little vacation. It was hard to relax the first couple of days, a little on the muscle, been driving a lot, and like I said, wish you had another month to make it happen. I think that's just kind of I'm kind of a fighter, like got a lot of dog in me. Because I will bet on myself and I will fight to the bitter end. You know, but it doesn't matter how hard you're going to fight, really. You just got to do your job. So the crushing side, it's leaving because we're started. We're focused on the rest of it. But that's how it felt. It was hard. That drive home is tough. I definitely don't want those phone calls anymore. Yeah, I'm sick of those phone calls. I've had them for a couple of years, and I have doubters. You know, I have the doubters, but it's kind of the fuel. Like, we're almost there, but it's going to happen. That burn the boats mentality that made me move out here to Texas and take it as seriously as I have, it drives me. Like, I don't have a retreat plan. This is it. I got to make it. Yeah, no matter what.
I think that's the mentality to have, though. I think at the end of the day, that's hey, can I live with this and have any regrets later in my life? Right. And I think one thing that's really admirable about it is a lot of people are afraid to even try.
Absolutely.
And they got a lot of excuses, maybe why they don't do it or other reasonings. But at the same time, like, to pursue something that you love, right? Like, how does it get any better than that? You know what I mean?
I don't even focus on that just a whole lot, just because, like, at a high level, at this level, there's a lot of people that try and fail. There's a lot of people that come and try it out and they go home. It ain't for them. Right. And they might be just a little more sane than a lot of us, to be honest. Yeah. This is a game of failure. You don't have great catch percentages. Like, not very many people do. And the best three teams that have the best catch percentage, the top three teams are going to battle it out for a gold buckle. Every year you see it. Those guys made the least amount of mistakes, right? Yep. They had the best catch percentage at the end of the day. So for me, I know that there's a lot of people that wish they were in my situation to begin with. Young kids that were 19 that tried it for their very first year, and they're like, yeah, we made the top 50. It's like, that is great. Yeah. Now stay hooked. You know, keep moving forward, keep trying it. You know, it's very easy to look at, like, well, only one half of what these guys that made the NFR won. It's like, yeah, that's incredible. That used to make the NFR.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think just understanding that, like, hey, it takes a process to get there. Yeah. Everyone's journey is going to be different.
These guys are the best in the world. Yeah. And these are your Navy SEALs of the rodeo game. Like,
they're a bunch of dogs as well.
So they're tough. Yeah. That's what I love about it, though. I love it. They're going to show up and do their best. I'm going to show up, keep doing battle. Like, I like that competition side of it. Yeah. I like the fact that I have a chance at roping better than somebody today, or have a chance at beating somebody today. One of the best guys in the world that used to idolize on TV, you know. But the second you realize that you're competing with the best guys in the world, like the young kids, the people that were maybe 60th in the world that are just kind of trying it on, you're competing with those guys. And there were times that you did better than those guys. Yeah. You know, so you're talking about the top 0.5% of all team ropers here. So it's hard to not think about that. Like I try not to, just because I want to focus on moving forward and getting better. But when you step back, it's a privilege,
right,
to be here. You know?
And also a privilege to try to separate yourself from them other people competing.
It's a grind, and it's going to take everything you got. But that's the coolest part about it, is you got to make it work.
Well, it's I gotta get this story in before I forget. I love. Let's talk about watering the steers over there at Chad's house.
Oh, I was good at it. I was so good at it.
So was this the first or second year you were living over there with Chad?
Honestly, I don't remember. I think first
year,
because after this, it brought us a little bit tighter.
Oh, this was a bonding moment.
Yep, I was still kind of.
All right, set this one up. Where we live in, like room, everything. I gotta hear the situation on this one.
I'll start a little further back. Got lucky to even have the chance to go live there.
Yeah.
Right. Didn't know much about Chad. Didn't even know much about my new partner at the time. He had an inn there, and I got to go live there and practice with him. And show up at Chad Masters' house. Everything's so cool. I'm not hired in any way, shape, or form, but I'm living there for free. So instantly, it's like, get up. You're feeding, you're saddling, you're
whatever need to be.
Anything. How can I help? Like this guy's 2-time world champ and is gonna give me most of his day. I'm gonna help him, but he's helping me more than he knows, right?
Right.
So we're gonna get up and we're gonna bust it right off the bat. We're gonna be hustling, okay? Part of my job was watering steers. And there were quite a few times where everybody leaves the water on, right? I left the water on quite a few times. Problem with that particular hydrant is it flooded the entire return alley all the way to the boxes.
Yeah.
And it is a split return alley. So you had the calf lane on one side, the boxes and everything on the other. And it was just miserable if it flooded.
Right.
And it ran all the way down the driveway. Like when you messed up, it was bad. It was something that you weren't getting away from.
Got to deal with wet boots. Everything.
Yeah, it was terrible. Everybody pulling the driveway was like, "Oh, you got a leak?" And Chad would just look at me like, "Yeah, actually, we do." And he lives in the bedroom right here. So I was living in this little tiny room, like closet type room, and it was right next to the master. One night, it was the middle of the night. It might have been 2 or 3 in the morning. I mean, it was middle of the night. I had no idea. I'm sleeping. Door flies open. Chad might have been coming home from short round in Denver or something. I can't remember.
Right.
And the door swings open, and I'm a pretty heavy sleeper. Door swings open, I don't move, and then I get zapped. And I mean, jump up. I'm standing on the bed, and I'm up against the wall, and Chad has a yellow hot shot. And he has run me up the wall, and he says, "I told you to quit leaving the water on. What do we got to do to get to where you won't leave the water on?" I'm thinking about it because it's a problem I've had. So I'm scratching my head.
This might be enough.
Chad, I'm telling you, I turned the water off. I promise you I turned the water off. And so he's like, "Put your boots on. We're headed out there. You're going to show me the water that you turned off." I'm like, "Okay, let me, get dressed." Put my muck boots on because I know it's bad.
Which also with Chad, he's a pretty calm guy. Like I mean,
relatively.
I'm sure everyone kind of, but
yeah.
I would say he probably doesn't get. Has he gotten upset with you really over much?
Oh yeah, multiple times.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Never mind.
He keeps it together well.
Okay.
But when he snaps, it's big.
Okay.
And it's sharp and it's right away and that's it.
It's a hot shot in the middle,
middle of the night.
Middle of the night.
Yeah. I mean, like up against the wall, and it's like right here.
Okay.
Well, we're on our way out there, and he's calling me a liar.
Yeah.
I mean, he is, and we're talking about it all the way there. He's like,
he's letting you know.
Yeah. He's like, "You got to quit lying to me." He's like, "This is a problem." I'm like, "Chad, I'm telling you, I turned it off. I don't know who came behind me, maybe turned it on." And then I'm halfway to it, and I'm thinking, did I leave it on? Like, I got doubts creeping in now.
Yeah.
And then we turn the corner, and I don't know how, I don't know why, call it an act of God. The steer that has been doing it has his horn wrap hung on the hydrant, and he's stuck there. And I all but hit my knees. I'm like, hallelujah, right?
Yeah.
This is incredible. I never once felt like I'm mad at Chad, right? Because I feel it, and I don't want to be a pain. I'm living there for free.
Well,
like,
maybe
you don't want to be a problem.
After you've been shocked and yelled, like, man, maybe I did leave the water on and just forgot about it.
I started to feel bad.
Yeah.
I'm like, gosh, I'm messing up. I'm the biggest pain in the butt to this guy. He's not even paying me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even helping. I'm literally here causing trouble.
About to get kicked out over here.
And at that point, if I'd have left it on and that steer wouldn't have been, I might have packed my bags.
Yeah.
And been like, I'm a thorn in your side. I will go bother somebody else. I'm so sorry. And then we turn the corner, see the steer. I'm just, the biggest feeling of happiness is coming over me right now. I'm like, I didn't care whose fault it is. It's not mine. Thank God, right? And Chad is like, can't even speak. He's so angry. But he's not angry at me. He's not even angry at the steer. He's mad at himself. And he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. He kept repeating himself, I'm so sorry. He said, I called you a liar. He said, you've been telling the truth. And to be honest, I have left the water on. So it's not like, and maybe even fibbed about it before. Like, no, I'm pretty sure I turned the water on. But this time it just worked out. And Chad's got the hot shot. And he's like, I'm telling you right now. He said, you turn around. I turn around, and he's got the front of the hot shot pointed at his belly. He says, I want you to shock me. I want you to shock me until I hit the ground. And I'm like, no, this is crazy. It's the middle of the night. We got our phone lights out. Yeah. We're at, this steer's setting back, about to break the hydrant to even.
We'll just call it even from the other times I let it run.
He's just like, do it. I'm like, no.
Dude.
Reaches up, grabs the button, shocks himself, doesn't just hold on to it, but he hit his knees and he's just, gutting it out. I grabbed the hot shot from him. And he's like, I'm so sorry. I'll never call you a liar again. And we walked in complete silence all the way back. I'm thinking he's the craziest person I ever met in my life. He's mad at himself for calling me a liar. And he treated me like gold all the time, but it was like extra.
Yeah.
After that, he was like, so sorry. Anything you need. How many steers you want today? Go get on your good horse. I'll turn you as many as fast as you want.
Yeah, whatever.
It's
whatever
about you. I'm so sorry. But that was probably my favorite Chad story. I got a lot of them, but that one is by far, because it just kind of shows he's an intense person, and he expects perfection pretty much, like about everybody around there. So with me maybe not towing the line, I was seriously on my way out there. I'm like, I should leave. Like, I should pack my stuff. Did I leave the water on? Come around the corner, steer's hanging there. I'm like, it's a sign. It's not my fault. And then when I turn around, the look on my face, and Chad's staring me in the face, just holding on to the hot shot. And it's the yellow one.
Yeah, it's the real deal.
The big deal one.
It
like
buzzes.
Yeah, the one you can hear it.
Yeah.
And he's just like, come on. If you don't do it, I'm going to do it. And I won't do it. I'm like, no way. Not a chance. Later on, we did have a match, and he lost, and I got to hot shot him one time. That's a whole different story. But he dang sure held on to the button until he got on his knees. It was crazy.
Did the water get left on after that, or what? How do you guys handle the water situation?
We trained that steer after that, and the big training program that they have over there. We trained him.
Yeah. And
kind of fixed the hydrant. We built something.
Fenced it off a little bit.
Yeah, where they couldn't rub on it or play with it anymore. But that it didn't go lightly. Yeah, we took that very seriously. We dug up the hydrant, I think moved it to next to the fence. Like, we didn't want to have that happen again. And I was the first one to dig it up. I'm like, I don't want hot shot in bed anymore. That was miserable. That might have been the worst part about the whole thing, was just sleep in my eyes, deer in the headlights, and a hot shot up next to my throat. I told you to quit leaving.
He didn't shock you though, or did he shock you while you were sleeping?
He shocked me to wake me up right there off the bat. He threw the door open. I think he said something. He said something, and then pow.
Bam.
The little light one. He didn't just run me all the way up the wall, but I jumped and got on the wall, and he was like, "We're going out there right now." Yeah, that is a 100% true story.
Yeah, we got Chad's permission before we told this story. So
I wish you could get him to tell you his side of it, because I want to know his whole thought process on marching me out there. Because he's under the impression that I did leave the water on, and there's a good chance that I left the water.
Because the water had been left on a few times.
Very good chance.
What about the culture that you love so much about it? Because there's a lot of things like that, like staying with people, just embracing that. I think that's something that, like, you know, you constantly hear from you is like, hey, Wyatt, great to be around, great person, you know what I mean? And it's just something that I think it fits your deal. I don't know if that's just the culture in like California or what, but like, I mean, I think we got a Breeley and Logan, you know, their daughter loves you, favorite person. That's, you know, and that's like, you know, Kylie's is the same thing, Kylie Masters. And it's just like constantly, you know what I mean? So I think that's just. I'm
a lot like my dad, like very open arms, don't care, we're just happy.
Yeah.
We're huggers, you know, that's just how it is. But I learned a lot of that too, being out here. Like a lot of guys didn't have to take me in, didn't have to help me, you know, and I definitely try to reciprocate that. That is something that there's not a lot of in this sport. I see it a lot even at the junior rodeo level. You got parents arguing and fighting at the junior rodeos during a pole bending, you know, over whose horse is faster, and they get caught up in the drama. And there's plenty of drama in what we do. But there's a lot of camaraderie too.
Right.
There's a lot of guys, and this goes back to that attitude I had about trying to prove that I was good enough. The second I started listening and the second I started having that attitude of just soaking it up, I talk to everybody, please help me. They'll help you. If you're going to put in the work, the best guys in the world will help you.
Yeah.
And they're going to make sure that they know that you're putting in the work, but it doesn't matter who you are. Like, if you're trying hard, somebody's going to help you. And then eventually everybody. I don't think I've had anybody ever tell me no or not help me. You know, I even got full sentences out of Clay O'Brien Cooper about it, and they weren't even questions. He didn't answer the question with a question. He actually broke it down with me and helped me quite a few times now.
Yeah.
And that, I feel like that's kind of a little badge of honor. Yes. But that's the kind of, I want to show that to people too. So I try to stay positive. Nobody needs to know if I missed the last one or not. That shouldn't weigh me down. Like, you're running into people all day, every day, all the time. Just, you can keep that out of it. You can just try to be a good person and hold the door open and all of it.
Right.
Chivalry's still got to be around. You still got to be nice to everybody.
I agree with that. Okay, so if you could ride a heel horse from any time, can't be one of yours. You get to pick any hill horse ever in his prime to ride. One full rodeo season. Jackpots. Who do you pick?
Man, it's hard because now I feel like there's such a separation in the setups. So, like, you'd have an indoor horse or an outdoor horse or a jackpot horse and a rodeo horse. But I'm going to give you two. Okay. I'm going to give you one for then and one that I would take out of that era and bring it in now.
Okay.
The one I would ride now is Taz.
Okay. Yeah.
I love Taz. Big Taz fan. If I could go back.
This is Kenny Harrell's Taz, who's pretty cool bay. But the Sunbuck could run. And
he was faster than the head horses. He scored. He could drag it.
Real
he
similar
was easy.
to Jackal, but maybe.
Jackal's my other one.
Okay.
Jackal's my other one. And the only reason I say the difference is now, and I'm not knocking him in any way, shape, or form, is I feel like Taz is faster. Taz has the speed to ride at Cheyenne. Taz, all that stuff. Jackal, there's been a lot of money won and a lot of buckles won at Cheyenne on Jackal. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
We're talking probably, I mean, two of the top 4 or 5 hill horses all time. So we're not saying, hey, this horse sucks, but
not throwing any shade at all whatsoever. Yeah. But if I had to have one right now, it'd be Taz.
Okay. That was kind of my picks. Did you ever watch Diesel go of Randon Adams? Mm-hmm. I thought that horse was pretty close.
Diesel was incredible.
I can't remember him because I was just young enough. I didn't get to see him go a lot, and it was probably before there's a lot of videos. But I remember like that as Heelan was just really starting to get like guys that can really throw fast, like Michael Jones on Jackal, Taz with Kenny, and then Randon too. Those three guys were pretty fun to watch.
Diesel's, he's right there. He had plenty of speed.
Yeah.
A lot of butt drag. He had a ton of stops.
He was flashy when he.
Yes.
Maybe that's why he always stuck out to me so much.
The reason I go with the speed so much is I feel like that's something I've lacked for a while, is horses with a ton of speed. So for me personally, that's why I go with Taz, is because of the speed. And then I thought maybe he was a touch freer. Like he just allowed you more opportunities maybe. Diesel's going to run around the end of it at Cheyenne, and he's going to make them pay.
Right.
He's going to drag it and pull on them. And you're going to have to keep that aggressive style. You're going to have to be going at him on Diesel, I feel like.
Yeah.
Where Taz is going to open the door for me, where I'm trying to go with my discipline side. I want to get better at just catching. I feel like Taz opens the door a little bit better for me.
I've got a couple questions from social media we're going to get to. You put a lot of threes on the board here recently. Let's go your fastest time ever. I think we'll keep it at the pro rodeos because everything else gets. So what's your fastest time ever?
3-4.
3-4.
3-4.
Where at?
First round at Ogden this year. Yeah. Crazy, right?
Yeah. For people that don't know, Ogden's box typically is a little deeper. I want to say it's an 18-foot box usually. Like,
I think
it feels
so.
like it's deep to me.
Not my department, but definitely deeper. And I will say I thought that they softened the setup up just a little bit. Like,
gotcha.
The years I was running with Tanazi, it felt like maybe one over. Right. And I mean, you'd run them halfway and go 5-4 and make a run.
Yeah.
That I feel like it's a little different now. Like this year, there was quite a few threes over there. It might have been even. Steers maybe a little softer.
I think it's one of the most. I'd won pretty good. Like Logan and I one year, we were maybe like 4-5 or 4-9 in the first round, and then like 5-2, and we won like second in both rounds in the average. Like it was like my biggest hit that I'd had.
$5,000 rounds this year.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty good round.
Unreal. So yeah, 3-4 first round at Ogden for 5 Gs. That was that week that we won so much in the rounds. I don't know if my partner was just mad or what, but he was mad bombing. Yeah. First round, neck, and we wiped it out of one.
That's pretty crazy.
Unbelievable.
When you dally, do you got an idea that it's fastest run you've ever made, like real close, or you've been 3 with him enough? When you're probably 3, I'd say, but I don't know.
It's not something I've gotten used to.
Well, mid 3 is a little different feel.
Yeah, like when it comes together, like that run did, steer kind of splashed just a little bit, and I heeled him in it, and I knew we were fast, but I was thinking
first
3-7, 3-8.
We knew probably first.
Yeah, if we make our run, I'm planning on winning first, but. When they said 3-4, I was like, because when you look, I look back over my shoulder. The outgate has the bow over the top of it, and it sits right in the middle of the scoreboard. Yeah. The little number scoreboard. And I couldn't see the top row of, I thought maybe 3-9.
Oh, gotcha.
I thought it was, there was a bar across there. And when I wrote out, they said 3-4, and I looked back, and it sure as heck didn't have the bar over to make it a 9. It was a 4. And I was like, I don't know if that's right, but we blasted one in the first round of a big 2-header. Yeah. I'm like, who does that? We do, apparently.
That's pretty crazy. What about favorite rodeo in California?
Santa Maria.
Santa Maria.
Santa Maria.
Okay.
They changed it to a 1-header this year. Not too sure about that. Still love it. It's a hometowner for me, so I'm pretty biased. But Red Bluff, it's hard to beat. Yeah. It's hard to beat Red Bluff. We'll see what the 1-header does for Santa Maria. I loved it as a 2-header. And it's a rodeo that I wish I got to go to every year. Hard time of the year to make it over there now. But great rodeo, great setup. I know most of the people that help put it on and do it all. So that I love Santa Maria. I've grown up when I was little going over there and got to rope in the family, the Elks team roping, the member team roping. Yeah. And kind of got to go all the way up through the whole ranks. Used to have junior rodeos there. That's been one of my favorite spots since I was a baby.
That's awesome. What about favorite rodeo win? What's your most memorable one or favorite one?
Favorite rodeo win? Ooh. I liked Reno with Tanazi.
If you don't throw Reno in there, we're crazy.
Dude, how do you not? It's such a momentum booster.
And
it's a great rodeo. Steers are always tough, are big, strong, fresh. You know, it's
hard to win.
It's the gauntlet.
It's one of the hardest rodeos, I think, to win. Just a lot of, I don't know what it is, but it's just.
Got lucky too, like, not in the sense that got lucky to win it. We did rope a really good roping, but there was some guns. Like, the dogs were all in the short round. Usually the best guys that are roping the best, the sharpest guys, top 10 in the world, are making the short round at Reno. You can guarantee it. But come back, third callback maybe fourth callback. Tanazi loved our steer. I wasn't a big fan. Kind of a big soggy Bramer. And Billy Jack mucked it out of him in the second round, maybe Coleman Billy Jack, I think. But it was a hard shot. Steer didn't clean up very good, and didn't for me either. But I was kind of around him too much a little bit, so I had that throw where it was like, we got to do it now. And Tanazi did a great job, or maybe 5-2, 5 flat, 5-2, I think. And then we're winning the rodeo, but Sinigine and Kenny are high call. I can't remember who was second high call.
Yeah.
Maybe Caleb and Junior. And I can't remember if one of them got a leg and one of them lost a rope. Maybe Kenny lost his rope. And it was one of them deals where, like, when you're leaving the short round at Reno or headed to the catch pen and you're winning the rodeo and there's 2 teams left, high five, we won third at Reno.
Yeah.
It's huge. And then Junior maybe gets a leg. And it's like, wow, I was planning on winning third. Second's amazing, And then Kenny I think, loses his rope. And, oh, my God, we got to, they're pulling you into the arena. We got to go get the spurs or whatever. And I didn't even know what was going on. I'm still helping put the steer in the catch pen, not even thinking about what's going on. He's like, hey, we got to go out there. I'm like, for what? Oh, they give away what here? Spurs?
Yeah.
It's amazing. That's probably my most memorable one. I was still pretty green, I feel like.
I mean, I remember seeing you a few weeks after.
I was still 8 healer.
And you were pretty excited about it still. That's like one of those wins. It's like, yes, like, no matter what's gone on rodeo for the next few weeks, you guys still pretty excited about that
for
one.
Sure.
Some of the other wins, they'll kind of wear off pretty quick
sure.
if it's not going well.
For sure.
All right. Here's a situation. You've got Taz. You get to pick any header from any era and rope in that era with them. Who you picking?
Oh, man.
But I am going to let you ride Taz, being we've already picked that heel horse.
Got Taz. Oh, boy. I think it's hard to go against Clay Tryon.
Okay.
And I couldn't even tell you the years, but you know which ones. I mean.
Yeah, there's about 8 of them.
Yeah, just back to back. Anyone you pick. I don't care. Okay. I'm not picky, but yeah, he's unstoppable. He's still kind of the standard. You got the top guys now that obviously can keep up or maybe even do better. Only the years will tell. But as far as winning, nobody's a bigger winner right now than Clay Tryon. Still, I think everybody's still scared that he's going to come back.
Yeah, it's impressive how great his career really has went.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you think it would go behind Scooter with Charles Pogue?
That'd be fun, especially fast heel horse.
Yeah.
I'm throwing fast the whole time. Same thing with Clay. Clay, I think, more range, going to be going at him, but different times.
Yeah, like they ran a little bit closer, just different styles. Steers were different. Scores were longer, but anyways.
Still love Taz in that situation.
I think
a lot of just more just catch situations where Charles is going to blow in there, cut the horns, and just put them on the end of it.
Yep.
And I'm going to have 3 swings over their back to seal the deal.
Right.
Where Clay, during Clay's time, there's still a little bit more going at him. I think I'd love to ride him and rope with either one of them guys in either one of those times. That would be amazing.
Okay, last question was steak or chicken, but also we already know it's not chicken. So what cut of steak or favorite steak meal? You obviously cook a lot, so you're going to make it for yourself. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, if I'm cooking,
and obviously chicken's out, right?
Okay. Yeah, chicken's not even a very good second. I like a good T-bone.
T-bone.
Yep. I cook a T-bone well. I made one last night. Amazing. baked potato, maybe twice baked even. And then I actually make broccoli very well.
Okay.
A good friend of mine taught me how to make this version of broccoli.
You got to add like some cheese and stuff to it. How do we make broccoli taste good?
Broccoli florets, get a head of broccoli, cut the stems short, and just kind of quarter them off in a bowl, and then take Italian dressing.
Okay.
Wishbone Italian, and then you don't gotta like overdo it, but you soak them pretty good and make sure they're covered, and then grill them.
Okay.
Stock down first until the stock gets soft, and then the last little bit you flip them and you kind of sear them, and it makes them a little bit crunchy. It's like candy. It's like broccoli but candy.
I like that. Yeah. Just so you know, between you and Aaron Macy, I've heard lots of stories about how good you guys cook. So.
I'm sure he's unreal. That guy. A lot of my love for it came from watching him do all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, I mean, we reverse seared ribeyes and we didn't know a thing about it. You know, he's watching stuff on YouTube. I'm setting temps like, what are we doing? You know, nowadays we laugh and it's pretty funny, but at the time we were full on serious. Go get 3 or 4 steaks. That way one of them at least is edible so Hannah doesn't freak out.
Yeah.
You know, because we're jacking around trying to mess up steak and shrimp. And he makes lobster and salmon, and I haven't quite went down the rabbit hole yet that way, but we're getting there.
Just not chicken.
Yeah, I do like chicken. I have chicken in the fridge. I like chicken thighs. My dad makes chicken thighs that we used to take the leftovers, get the big thing of chicken thighs, and then take the leftovers with us to either go ranching or go working.
Yeah.
And that's what we ate for lunch.
I like that.
I mean, amazing. But that's on the wood pit. I like them better on the wood pit for sure.
Perfect. Wyatt, thank you, man. Yeah. Anything else you want to add? I know covered a lot right there. I really do appreciate it. You know what I mean? It was
2026, we coming.
I like it.
That's
Thank you.
Yep, you bet.